Carroll Shelby, legendary auto entrepreneur, designer, and American car icon. Seven success facts to fuel your success. Number 1. Carroll Shelby was born in Leesburg, Texas in 1923, and 3 years later, his little sister Anne arrived, promoting Carroll to Big Brother. Carroll's father worked as a mail carrier, originally using a horse-drawn buggy to deliver mail. Carroll's lifetime love of automobiles was set in motion when his father traded his buggy for a 1925 Overland touring car and took Carroll on his first car ride. When he was just a young boy, Carroll was diagnosed with a heart murmur, forcing him to spend much of his time resting in bed, a necessity that irritated him. But as he grew older, the murmur didn't seem to bother him anymore. Number 2. Carroll enjoyed history and geography in school and did well in those subjects, but he was less enthusiastic in subjects like math or English. When his father received a promotion, the family moved to Dallas, Texas. There, Carroll's father introduced him to bull rings, where they watched stock cars race around a dirt track. Eventually, Carroll was allowed to visit the race alone, where he started picking up odd jobs at the track to gain free admission. Occasionally, Carroll's time at the racetrack conflicted with his attendance at school, a fact his father overlooked. Soon after graduating from high school, Carroll enlisted in the United States Army Air Corps in 1942. He was commissioned a second lieutenant and served for 3 years before he was honorably discharged in 1945. Number 3. Looking for a way to provide for his wife and children, Carroll went into business with a friend, operating a dump truck during the post-World War II housing boom. At the advice of his father-in-law, who didn't believe the housing boom would continue, Carroll spent time working as a roughneck in the Texas oil fields and as a chicken farmer. Although he was initially successful, Carroll's flop was devastated by a fatal disease, leaving him bankrupt. Worried about putting food on the table for his family, Carroll was trying to figure out his next move when a childhood friend asked Carroll to drive his home-built special powered by a flathead Ford engine in a drag race. Carroll did well, and his friend asked him to drive an MG TC in Norman, Oklahoma, where Carroll placed first in both races. Number 4. His early wins attracted attention, and in 1954, Carroll was invited to drive for Aston Martin. In 1956, Sports Illustrated named Carroll Driver of the Year. In 1959, Carroll became the second American to win the 24-hour endurance race at Le Mans. Shortly after, in 1960, Carroll's childhood heart condition reappeared and forced Carroll to retire from racing. In 1961, Carroll launched the Shelby High Performance Driving School, the first of its kind in the U.S. Shelby saw an opportunity in the American market for a car that could rival the European sports cars and race cars of the day. His vision was a car that would easily be serviced in America without the wait for imported parts, as well as something that was financially within reach for more drivers by building a car that would be half the price of its European competitors. Shelby met with Aston Martin and Maserati and others, but they couldn't see the same creative vision that Shelby did. He even met with General Motors, but they couldn't get on board with Shelby's unconventional concept. Number 5. Despite being laughed at and told his ambition was a pipe dream, Shelby pressed on. The pieces started coming together when AC Cars of England agreed to provide the chassis, and Ford supplied their newly developed lightweight high-performance V8 engine. In 1964, the Cobra Daytona Coupe ran in Le Mans and placed 4th in the GT category. Ford requisitioned Shelby to aid their racing efforts, and in 1966 at Le Mans, the Ford GT40 Mark II was victorious, winning all 3 spots on the podium, as well as beating Ferrari, a long-held goal of Shelby's. Number 6. In 1970, Shelby retired, but it was short-lived. During the 80s, Shelby worked with Chrysler, establishing a performance image for Dodge, resulting in the Chrysler Omni GLH, an acronym by Shelby for Goes Like Hell, and the iconic Dodge Viper. Shelby's passion for fast cars continued throughout his life. In 2002, he returned to consult on the Ford GT in what he called his last hurrah. In 1990, Shelby was in desperate need of a heart transplant, and after seeing others not get matched with hearts, he made a promise that if he received a heart, he vowed to help other people who needed transplants. Number 7. In 1991, Shelby established the Carroll Shelby Foundation. Originally dedicated to helping children with life-threatening conditions, the foundation expanded its scope and today, through grants, supports healthcare research and scholarships that provide opportunities for young people to pursue their dreams in automotive fields. In 2014, the historic significance of Shelby's contribution to the automotive industry was again recognized as the 1964 Shelby Cobra Daytona Coupe was the very first automobile ever to be recorded on the United States National Historic Vehicle Register. If you made it this far, hit the like button to let us know you want more content like this. Like and share with the ambitious in your life, and check out the SDH Legend Library in the description below. SuccessfulDailyHabits.com. Learn from legends. Be legendary.